Hello and welcome to this Warcraft replay. This is going to be the second game of this best of 3 series from the Zodiac Dream League. Yeah, I don't think it's anything special other than that. So I actually forgot to take a drink here because don't know when my voice will start faltering. So your second game on the map, Terenas Stand. It's a lot smaller than Last Refuge. Yeah, alright, let's see what will happen. Cash spawning in as the blue orc player in the top left, and Starshaped spawning in as the teal night elf in the bottom right. Note, I am not actually casting the Zodiac Dream League. I think Back to Warcraft's already done that as well. They're like super active. This is just a series to get me back into recent games. So yeah, I'm currently finding the suitable replays to actually cast. So there is that. Starshaped looks like he is going for a Tavern Hero start. Meanwhile, Cash is sticking to that Blade Master, the tried and true Orc Pride Blade Master there. Yep. So I did say I was going to talk about game 1, but there's just so many stuff happening already in game 2. Starshape's going for an extremely early base, and I think Cash... Oh, wow, Cash did not actually spot this. He was like a couple of units out. Amazing. This is his field of vision here, and basically if he moved like maybe 0.5 seconds more, he would have seen that. Expand like, this is the epitome of expand first. I mean, guess it's probably going to be a Dark Ranger, but with that thing following around, it might be either a Firelord or a Beastmaster. It is going to be a Beastmaster. Alright, Beastmaster first. We do see this sometimes, but I'm pretty sure we only saw it on human recently. So let's see how this will turn out to be. Blademaster actually gets a decent set of items here. +3 agility, which will add +3 attack, and of course Circlet for that +2 on everything. So expand first, like not even Ancient of War. Expand first. We're gonna have double Hunters. We're gonna have double Ancient of Wars into Hunter Soul as well, so that's most likely going to be Huntress transition there, or at least start. Right now the Beastmaster, I think his only purpose is to distract the Blade Master as much as possible until he has enough Huntresses, or maybe even archers, who knows, to start creep camping that top right expand. Now, no, it is a green creep camp, surprisingly. Yeah, 5-3-3 maybe? 4-1-1-1. 1. Yeah, that's a super weak camp, so he can definitely take that out. So anyway, I was going to talk about game 1. Game 1 was really interesting. He went for a Priest of the Moon second, and he just committed to Huntresses, like fully committed. Tier 3, he wanted 3-3 upgrades, but only got up to 2-2. The problem was, as I stated before, that the Tier 1 army, like no matter how much upgrades you get, shouldn't be able to stand against a Tier 2 plus. Honestly, and that kinda happened. Either that or Cash played very, very well with his like slick transition into Wyverns there, and Starshaped couldn't adapt quick enough to make archers, and then archers were kind of catch-22 because if you make them, they're a little weak to the tier 2. And if you don't, then you lose to Wyverns. It was really complex, honestly. Alright, here we go here. Uh, not ancient, Tree of Life creep camp. And the grunt spots it, so Cash is aware of this expand, but honestly, it's gonna be a little tough to destroy this Tree of Life now that it's finished. It is now beginning to entangle the gold mine, so I guess the only way for Cash to actually delay that even further is to, you know, destroy the entangled gold mine. Simple as that. But I'm pretty sure Starshape's gonna be around this area to be on defense duty, so I highly doubt that, you know, the gold mine will actually fall. Alright, here we go. Yep, there we go with the defense. Cash is in a bit of trouble here, because definitely any race that gets a second base is problematic, because if it goes for a long game, then the second base race will generally always win. I mean, look at Humans been like super successful because they do that that stuff. Second Bestiary, that could lead into Wyverns, but it seems like it's only going for double Raiders here. You can guess kind of tell how much Cash actually wants to get rid of that expand. It is going to be difficult to deal with the Huntresses without like Spirit Link to mitigate a lot of damage, but the bounce effect on these Huntresses deal a lot of multi-unit damage anyway. I don't think it matters too much, maybe. And of course, like Raiders, they deal siege damage. They'll be super effective against these Huntresses with unarmored. So yeah, it seems like Starshape's going for a relatively similar army composition at least. We'll have to see when he gets his tier 2 what second hero he'll get. If he goes for the Priest of the Moon again, or maybe just the strong Demon Hunter that, you know, can be good anytime. I don't know what Starshape's trying to do though. He can upgrade into tier 2, but he's not. He's sticking a lot of resources, in fact. Actually no, there we go. He goes over onto low upkeep, which could be a super weird. He hires a lot of mercenaries. I think it's super weird because I think the Priestess of the Moon is maybe mandatory for this kind of army composition, because I think you just need True Shot Aura. I mean, if you don't have that, how are you going to, you know, even contend to win? Because like, it was very close last game until, you know, Cash finally put his foot in the pedal and drove home the victory. But no Priest of the Moon, nothing to like amplify this ranged army here. Not even upgrades. We're not even upgrading for Starshaped as well. I have a worrying feeling about Starshape's decision here. Lots of raiders, lots and lots of raiders, moving out to the main base. Okay, +1 attack upgrades are on the way. No sign of tier 2, which is a big problem. Are we gonna have a base race situation? Honestly, like, even if you have 2 bases, you're fighting someone who's like mass raiders. Raiders can eat buildings for days. So TP Scroll is going to be used to come back home. Hunter Soul is going to be destroyed, which honestly, it would have been better if you TP'd earlier, but yeah, bit of a problem. 68 versus 49, so Cash, I mean, he should know that he is at a food disadvantage. Are we going to have another expand? Would be pretty greedy if he had another expand. Um, I mean, it's also not greedy, but weird that we're not having tier 2. Alright, Raiders moving out to the top right base. Does seem like they stopped for some reason. I don't know why. The Huntresses are going to get a couple of free attacks off. Unfortunately unable to pick up a single Raider, but they will pick up a couple of Grunts here. Honestly, if I was Starshaped, I would neglect these Grunts and go back to the base, because yeah, the Tree of Life is not working out. Wisps being ensnared to prevent repairs, that's a pretty big deal, and well, the Tree of Life finally dies. This now becomes a problem for Cash, but since he's got TP Scroll, he can actually run away with no damage done. Wyverns starting to be added to the composition here, and this seems like last game, but quicker. Like, Cash has, between this game and last game, he's immediately optimized his anti-Starshaped build, and he's doing it in record time. Wyverns are now out. The only form of anti-air are these Frenzy Beasts, and maybe a Troll Berserker as well. But yeah, if these Wyverns meet up with these Raiders and fight head-on against this army, then this is going to be a bit of a bad thing. Base race, definitely not something that Cash should do, but it seems like he wants to maybe be the one TP'd on instead of being the one doing the TP. Definitely not going to happen, because the Beastmaster of Starshaped doesn't actually have a TP scroll. Interesting decision from Cash, because even though he has a lot of Raiders out, he still needs a couple more seconds to actually move up to the top right, and pretty much Starshaped doesn't have to move anywhere. He can just take his time destroying this entire base. Peons are moving downwards, so maybe they're gonna prolong this by making, you know, dummy buildings here. We do have resources, so enough for a great haul, so maybe go for another expand, maybe even expand on your base, your enemy's main base. Tree of Life being placed down here, Starshaped. Yeah, this is a weird game. Last game I liked because it was very flavorful, but this game it's a lot more chaotic. Tree of Life will be cancelled there, and it will be killed off by the Blade Master. We still have a couple of buildings on the top right though, so actually no, that's going to be hunted down by Cash. I think Cash has won this game. We have a Tree of Life being built on the top left. I don't know, level 3 on the Shadow Hunter. Beastmaster's been by himself, honestly, and he's now got a Thunderhawk, Frenzy Beast. He's at the moment where he can deal well with the Orc units, but this is not a normal circumstance. Woman's been placed down on the bottom right because it's so cheap. You only need to spend gold for that. That's like super value in base race situations. Okay, so it does seem like Starshaped wants to go for a full defense method here. It could be a bit of a problem because Cash could just rebuild, not worry about defense because he knows his opponent's not going on the offense. I don't know about attacking himself because those units are surrounding that Tree of Life. It will be extremely difficult for what is it? For those raiders to get in melee range. This is super cheeky by Fly here, using those air units which can only be attacked by the Troll Berserker and Frenzy Beasts, and of course Thunderhawk, to harass. The big dud right now is that Starshaped has no wisps. Meanwhile, Fly, I keep saying Fly for some reason. Cash has peons. In fact, he has 3 peons. That's enough to produce another base, and Starshaped can't win in that circumstance. I'm trying to think if I said Fly or Cash again. It's super embarrassing. But yeah, oh, it looks like Cash is going for the attack. Wyverns aren't really the best to siege buildings, but since there's nothing to attack back, I mean, honestly, what's the problem here? The Great Hole has been spotted. Not as much of a problem because there is a war mill up. Beastmaster might be going for some scouting reconnaissance there. Raiders are moving out. Okay, this is truly a base race. Unfortunately for Cash, not Cash, unfortunately for Starshaped, yeah, he didn't win that base race regardless, but even if he destroyed the Great Hole, there was still the war mill. Cash will take this 2-0, and yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. Always interesting to see base races like this. So yeah, I think I casted quite a bit this week. I do have an exam in 3 days, so I probably should study about that. I'll see you guys again next time. Take care.